What's up, y'all? It's your girl Kia, and I'm back at it again with a fun sewing tutorial on how I turn this jacket into a cute corset. Nice and trendy, and I see a lot of these floating around the internet with the straps. So I did want to show you guys how I made this. Let's hop right into it. First thing you want to do is take your measurements. So I'm going to measure from the middle of my chest to about my pelvis. Because this is where the corset is going to stop and begin in the middle. Then I'm going to take my waist measurements. We also want to do around the boobs and around the hips because this material and corsets do not stretch. Once you got that, I'm going to use my seamless paper that I got from Walmart, and it's in the kids craft section, and I'm going to just sketch out the shape of the corset that I want. You can basically have it to be your however you want it to be at the top or whatever the case may be. I freehanded it. If you're not good with it, just look up a couple pictures and, experiment. Keep in mind that the measurements that we did just take, it should be divided in two because this is only 1/2 of our corset. So let's just say your bust was 36 inches. You want to divide the 36 inches by 2, and you want to make the bust of the front of your corset to be that. That concept should be applied to all of your measurements. And this is what my front piece of my corset looked like once I'm done. And we're going to take our fabric, which I'm using this jacket, but you can honestly use whatever you want. And I'm just going to do my first cutout of this piece. Next, we're going to take our pattern that we just made for the front, and we're going to alter it so it's going to be the pattern for the back. So since mine has like these pointy top edges for the boobs, I'm going to just fold that down. And then if you look at the very bottom, there's like that curve and it's pointed on both sides. I'm going to fold that up also. And that is going to be the shape and outline of 1/2 of the back portion of my corset. You'll see what I'm talking about, but I'm just going to take this and cut out 2 pieces. That's how it looks. Super simple. And now I am going to put the 2 back portions on the front portion, and I'm going to sew both of those down. I'm actually using a serger, but you can use a sewing machine. It really doesn't matter. After I've sewn all of these together, I'm going to take my bias tape, and I got this from Walmart. I ended up using 2 packs. It's really inexpensive. And I'm just going to kind of just sketch out my own design with the bias tape of how I want the front of my corset to look. And I'm going to take these zip ties to give it a little bit of structure, but I'm making sure that the zip ties, because they are pretty thick, that they actually fit this width of bias tape. Now I pin all the bias tape down, and I'm only doing that to the front. I'm going to cut 2 inch strips of the bias tape because this is going to be for our little portions to attach our straps to. So I got these, I forgot what these are called. I think they're called D rings. I got these from Joann's, the whole bag, for about 30 bucks. And I'm just going to put the D-ring on there, attach the bias tape, and then pin it down where I want my straps to start and stop hanging. And you want to make sure you do that before you start to sew, so you don't like go over your lines and whatnot, and sew is super clean and it looks professional. This is what she looks like. And once you got everything pinned down, you just want to begin to sew. This part, I would definitely say take your time so it doesn't look sloppy. This part is actually easy, but it's just tedious. This is what it looks like once all my bias tape is sewn down, and I'm just going to take these zip ties that I did get from Walmart out of the hardware section, and I'm going to stick those in the tubing that we made with the bias tape. So if you look closely, I did sew up both sides of the bias tape, so it made a little tube. And once you're done, once you're done putting the zip tie in there, you want to cut the edges of the zip ties. And to complete the bottom, you just want to take some bias tape and pin it down. Don't forget to add your D-rings. Placement of the D-rings is completely up to you, as well as the amount of D-rings is completely up to you. It just depends on how many straps you like, but that is basically personal preference. Now I'm going to finish the very top part of the corset. I did not add any underwire to my corset. Although if I do make this project again, I probably would go out my way to add underwire, but I just didn't have any on me, so I knew I could just finesse it. So I'm just pinning the bias tape to the very top of the corset. I like to pin it just because, again, sewing down the bias tape is tedious and I want it to be as neat as possible. So it definitely does help when you are pinning your bias tape before you start to sew. So this is what it looks like when it's pinned, and I'm just going to do the same exact thing, sew that down. Once you're done with this part, the body of your corset is done. What I did to the back of the corset was I just made some slits and I laced it up in the back. Super simple. I didn't record that part. And then the other thing I did was added the straps. I've shown you guys a lot of times how to make straps from scratch. So I didn't think that you would want to see that again. But let me know if you do. It's really easy to explain. So I just added the straps after I did this part here, and I was completely done. So this isn't the real way to make a corset. This is honestly the way to fake a corset, like the look of it. And I think it came out so good. With that, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in my next one. Thank you for watching. Bye.